and welcome back to Between the Pages. I'm your host, Grace Randolph, and we're coming to you from Midtown Comics in Times Square. And today we have guests aplenty. This is only half of our guest list today. We have very talented people who I'm sure you've heard their names before in the industry. Rick Leonardi and Karl Bollers. And these guys are the creative team behind the new digital comic, Watson and Holmes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Congratulations
on your new book. It hit the web yesterday.
That's what I'm told.
Right? Yeah. How long have you been working on it?
Well, when did you first loomed out of the crowd at New York Comic Con last year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so you were wooed.
I was wooed. Yeah.
You were
I was
wooed.
sitting at a table, and this guy approaches.
So you just walked right up to him at the convention.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever done that before?
No, I was actually looking, walking up to quite a few artists actually, but almost all of them were busy. And basically Rick had an opportunity, a window, and I basically, made an offer.
And he was a Sherlock Holmes fan.
Absolutely, that was definitely a plus.
Did you know that before you went?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, that's excellent. How did you get involved?
I started working on it earlier this year when my editor, Justin Gabri, approached me and said, hey, there's a publisher who's got a new a project that he's interested in having a good writer on, and I found out more about it, and once that was through, I was in.
Who says, let's make Sherlock and Watson Holmes black? Whose idea is that?
It's me and Paul, like over a year ago, like a New Year's Eve, and typical New Year's Eve, you're getting a little bit too much to drink, and I was going with some ideas, and basically, talking with Paul about this. And then the day after I sobered up, taking a shower, taking salt, I was like, holy crap, let's do this seriously.
So let's talk about the comic itself, okay. All right? Sherlock Holmes is all the rage right now. Starting with House, I think, on television brought it back, then the Warner Brothers franchise with Robert Downey Jr., and then also, of course, the BBC Sherlock, and also Elementary is coming out this fall, on television with a female Watson. What do you think of making the characters black? How does that change the story? Because it's such a good idea, you kind of wonder why nobody's done it yet.
Well, in fact, when Brandon loomed out of the audience at the show and sort of sprang this notion on me, that was my reaction exactly. It was like, duh, of course. and it's just epic and brilliant on so many really, obvious yet subtle levels.
It's funny because it actually started being New London, so it was going to be a completely fictional setting.
Oh,
wow.
And
I said, all right, well, what if we actually just put it in New York?
That's interesting.
Because then it grounds the characters. And originally my thought process was that they were going to be in Greenwich Village, honestly. And Karl came in and it's like, no, make it Harlem. Just go for the gusto. Just do it. Just pull the Band-Aid. Just do it.
Yeah,
it's
agree.
Right there. How can you ignore this or
totally.
try to get around this?
What I'm trying to do personally is I'm trying to sort of break stereotypes about what African American characters can do, who they are, how they speak, and just how they're presented on the page instead of the usual same old, same old.
I want it to be down to earth. And I don't want it to be stereotypical because it's very easy to fall into those pit holes. So that's why, from Karl's perspective, he helps us avoid those traps.
That's important.
In my opinion. And he legitimizes the project in a lot of ways.
One of the things that I like the most about the comic is the character design. I think it's very unique, and I think it really instantly makes you realize you're doing something fresh and new here. Both Sherlock and Watson, who was originally, I was sent one of your original covers by your editor and your publisher, and you really dramatically changed Watson's look. Why did you decide to change him to make him almost cooler than Sherlock Holmes?
We were going to go with, I can't remember the actor's name, but he's the actor who played Eugene on Boston Legal, I think, right? And I looked at that, and I was actually limited by the internet. Sorry, there were just weren't that many shots of him. But then I got thinking, I thought, look, I mean, me personally, my favorite actor, bar none, Denzel Washington. I'm like, why don't we just go to the source? I mean, here's a guy who's here's a look, here's an icon. Let's
but that's fascinating. Why choose him for Watson? You think Denzel would be Sherlock?
True, but then you get into his backstory, and this is where kind of the neatness of the concept comes in, and where Karl's doing a lot of good work. Looking at the Conan Doyle Watson, who is British Army veteran, returned from Afghanistan, war wound, poor health, working his way back into civilization, as it were, doctor. And same thing with our Watson. Our Watson is likewise a war veteran who's coming back to a difficult situation, who's trying to reintegrate. This is a role we've seen Denzel Washington in this role already.
Let me ask you this. If digital comics weren't around, would this comic exist?
It'd be very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, it would be very difficult because it would just be a lot of money that you'd have to put down just for the printing, the distribution, and all that other stuff that goes, you know, and then trying to get shelf space.
So what are the challenges, though, about advertising a digital-only book?
I think the hard part is with some of the major comic news outlets, it's hard to get, you know, a blurb. Like the major ones still are kind of reluctant. I put out an ad on Newsarama, and that seemed to maybe help out a bit.
Right.
But honestly, it's been a lot of just, you know, going through Tumblr, going through Twitter, going through Facebook, and actually, grassroots pounding the pavement, getting to know the Sherlock societies.
So you've been pounding a lot of pavement from getting the talent and to now selling it. So how does someone buy it? The most important part of the episode.
Go to Comics Plus.
Okay.
You can get that on the iPhone, Android, iPad. They have a website through comicspl.us.
Right.
And you can just get a copy for 99 cents.
No, it's less than $1.
Yeah, less than $1, better than a soda.
For less than $1, you can make 4 industry professionals very happy.